Live. I sure hope everyone's doing good today, having a good day. And if not, I hope it gets better. Mine's been okay. I can't really complain. I got a couple things done today, not all, but a couple. That's more than I had done yesterday, so I'm happy. Pups are playing with Mama, so they're all happy. It almost got a little warm before it's starting to cool down. If I open the curtain, the wind would come through a little bit better, but then the sun does, and I don't like that. Hey, Michael. Oh, it's going just as good as can be, I guess. I have no complaints, no queries. Damn it, don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. Must have been a little lung cookie. Oh, goodness. Oh, no, I get start my yawns now. Hope not. So, are you good? Everything good with you? Damn, feels like I got a little scratch right down there at my throat. A mustache hair or something. It's making me cough. What's up, Will? What's up, Mr. Ray? Nice of all y'all to drop in today, this evening. Oh. Tomorrow will probably be my last day in Joplin. I'm wanting to get moved over to Bentonville here before long. Oh, chilling like a villain, huh? Well, I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Everything's about the same. or is the same right now. I don't think anything's going to change for a few days, or at least till I get to Bentonville, and that don't mean it's going to change. It means I'm going to have a little fun, and y'all can see me go live a couple times and walk in front of Walmart Museum and stuff. Now, I'm trespassed from all Walmarts. Does that mean the museum too? Walmart Museum isn't Walmart. So, am I trespassed from all Walmart stores, or all Walmarts, or, what? Maybe they'll clarify while I'm there. Because there's a Walmart gas station across the street, but I don't go there. It's got a Walmart sign, so I figure, well, I'm not allowed there. You thought he said yes, what? The security guard wouldn't know nothing about me going to the Walmart Museum or not. I don't plan on going in it. Well, not at first. Now, if they tell me I'm not trespassed no more, I might go back in it again. If y'all remember, I went into it one time before, and you can make one of them little hello badges, and I had one that said 420 Gym before. A couple of young people made that for me when I went into Walmart a couple years back. How you doing?
I couldn't find any pennies, but I got $1 for you.
Oh, wow, cool. I'll take them too.
All right.
And let me get you. You can just put it in there if you like. Right. And I got a marker there, and you can tag it anywhere you like.
All right, let's see. We'll go right underneath this pot leaf here.
Ah, shucks.
Doing all right today?
Oh, I can't let me wake up.
That's awesome.
I'm going to do one more day in Joplin probably. I'm doing my new windows. If I could go to Walmart, I could have already had them done, but I got to have pictures made. Yeah. Because where Facebook kicked me off and stuff. And man, I reported where people make fake accounts of me and stuff, and they say it don't violate their community service stuff.
That's messed up, man.
And they send me pornographic pictures, and I report it, and they say it don't violate. So I'm going to put them up here where people can take pictures of it.
Isn't that just the way it is, man? It seems like anybody can post all sorts of that stuff, and then you try to post something righteous, you get attacked for it, you get banned for it and stuff. I've had so many times where I've gone...
Try to do it with cannabis?
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing. And it's why I scream in discrimination. People think, well, you can't be parked there. I'm not trying to park there to sleep or nothing.
Yeah.
And if I had a problem with my vehicle, why am I trespassing?
If anything, this is freedom of speech.
Well,
right
why am I trespassing? Why can't I just walk across the street right now and shop at Walmart with my vehicle parked here?
Yeah.
Or parked over somewhere off of their property?
Honestly, it shouldn't matter anyway. You know?
It shouldn't, but they're trespassing.
Freedom to express yourself. But, this is the United States of America, you know?
Well, no, not according to Walmart. Because their whole thing was the sign solicits. They don't solicit nothing.
It says you don't sell or have weed.
Yeah. Their customers come up and say, hey, can I tag your vehicle? Can I take pictures of that and the other? Their customers soliciting me. I never solicit them.
Yeah. Well, I asked you about signing it. You didn't bring it up.
So, yeah. It's crazy, but I'm going to Bentonville Wednesday. We'll see if they talk to me this time.
That's awesome, man. I hope something moves for you there. For sure. I'm praying for you, brother.
Oh, I appreciate it. They probably want me to just go get a big lawyer and do it that way. And if they want to do it that way, we can do it that way. I'm not going to let them get away with it this time.
You shouldn't, man. You stand up for what you believe in. Stand up
Always.
for what's right, you know?
Always.
All right, brother.
Hey, thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. You have a great evening now. I didn't think he was coming back. I really didn't. Good half hour ago, he come by and said hello and found out what it was all about. His phone wasn't charged up, so I gave him a QR. Then he wanted to know about tagging it, and I said, well, penny, nickel, dime, whatever. And he's like, oh, I got to change the car, I'll be back. Well, I hear that all the time, and I waited by the door about 5 minutes. He never come back, so I'm like, okay, cool, that happens. So, like I say, it's been a good 30, 45 minutes ago. And then all of a sudden now he walked up. That's pretty cool. He probably went in and ate and stopped by the car on the way out after eating. Either way, that's cool. So what's new? Anybody got any new news? Anything going on I should know about? What are you eating on? What are you chewing on, huh? What are you always chewing on something? Always chewing on something. I swear she's always chewing on something. Hey, quit biting under my feet. I swear I never understand it. They got this whole RV. There's a little room on that side of my legs. There's a whole lot of room on that side. But they got to fight right under my legs. Lilo, move. Get over there. Hey, Lilo. Get over there. Hey, don't come up here on me now. Don't come up here on me with them big old claws. Them big old paws. I need to cut them things off. They hurt. Them paws hurt. I need to cut them off. Cut them down. Damn, got me again. Cut me down to size. Where's that damn sandpaper at? He scares me of them claws. He don't mean it, but by God, they hurt. They hurt. They hurt. They hurt, little guy. Lilo, move. Get in. Get in. Lilo, go. Move. Lilo, get in. Oh, she listened. That'd be damn. Normally she don't listen. She acts like she don't know what commands are. Hey, get your butt on down. Betty. Betty. Betty, Betty, Betty. There's just my little one. There's my little cutie. Oh, you're a cutie too, but you're twice her size. Yeah, you're twice her size. You're 1.5 of her. Maybe 2. Quit scratching me with them paws, damn it. Get down. Get down, sir. Thank you. Get down. Yep, you gotta get down too. It's not fair to have you up here and not him. Well, I guess if nobody wants to talk, you're enjoying me entertaining my puppies. I'm enjoying it. And there's a pretty good chance I got another signature there. You know what I mean? Because he did take the cue. by QR and said when his phone got charged he'd sign it. Hey. Hey. Einstein. Einstein, go do that somewhere else, please. I just got you and Mama out from underneath my feet, and I got you and Betty. Hey, move. Over there. Betty, move. Over there. Yeah, both go over there. Yeah, fight over there. There you go. Hey, that way. I just don't understand the fascination of dogs wanting to be right under your feet. Whether they're just fighting, wanting to lay, whatever, they always are under my damn feet. Mama, what's up with that? Lisa, come here. What? Tell him. Tell him, Lisa. Hey now. They're going to beat me up. Well, heck, I don't want to bore none of you. It don't look like we have anybody coming in this evening, and either the regulars are doing something and don't have time to chat. But, I'll be honest with you, it's awful boring with me when somebody don't chat or nothing, and I don't want to just sit here and look like an idiot. So, I guess if nobody's got any questions, comments, or concerns, we'll come back tomorrow at noon and see what we can do then. Move, little one. Oh, he thought... No, what do you mean you thought my phone died? What are you talking about? No, at noon. No, at noon I ended it. It was an hour long, but I had other things I had to do and stuff. Tell a story, God. Ray, that's a big open one. What kind of story? Gee, I can't, right off the top of my head, I can't think of, one or one y'all would like to hear again, because y'all have heard them all before, I'm sure. A suggestion on what story? A story from when, about, or anything? Give me a hint. That's pretty cool. I didn't know my thermos made that sound with my... Gets the dog's attention. Gets the dog's attention too. One from the carnival. Gosh. Heck, dude. Give me a second. Let me take a hit of this and see if I can think of a good carnival story. Yeah, Will. I asked him what kind of story, and now he said one from the carnival. Why? Is there other comments? Let me check my filter here. No, I answered all you. I answered you and Ray. The only comments I see are from you and Ray, and I answered every comment. There's just a little lag in it, maybe, or something. I don't know. Heck, there's just so many. Ghost story. Oh, I don't know any ghost story. Oh yeah, I do. I've got a carnival story, kind of like a ghost story. Me and my wife Jenny. We was at the Ohio. Damn, why does he do that when I start? We was at the Ohio State Fair. And, you know, state fairs are pretty big. Well, anyhow, they had a giant double-decker spook house that you rode in a cart on. And had a bottom level, and you went up, and you did the top level, and you come back down, and all. Hush. Well, as we're walking towards the spook house and whatnot, Jenny wasn't really paying attention up on the second platform. She was more looking ahead at something or whatever. And I happened to catch a glimpse of a guy in a mask come out of the one door and grab someone on the cart and scare the shit out of them as they're getting ready to come down towards the end of the ride. So she had no idea that, you know, there was actually somebody in that ride running around, a live person, with a mask. I did. That's things we used to do back in the day, you know. Go in the spook house and sit there with a mask and, you know, play with the people. The glass house, you slide a panel. You'll get somebody in there's been through there 3 or 4 times. Go in there and slide a panel. Wham! The only bad thing is you got to clean the glass all the time. But anyhow, damn, Jenny and the ghost, and damn, now I'm trying to figure out where I begun the story, and I know it was about ghost. Damn it. Oh, now you really threw me off with the biggest fish caught. But I lost the thought on the one with the carnival and Jenny. I don't know why. It's your fault, Will, for throwing me off, putting other things up there, knowing I'd read them. Damn, I was talking about how fun it was to move panels, and then I don't know why I got off onto that. Oh, well. Here, I'll combine one and all. We'll forget that. And we'll skip the carnival one. Y'all probably heard this one anyway. But I went out of H&M and I signed on for a 21-day trip on the Finalista 100, which was a 100-foot wooden boat. And I was galley help. Help the cook, prep, do dishes, whatever, galley help. And it was 7 days down. We were supposed to go to the Socorro Islands. We never made it there. They're 200 miles off of the tip of La Paz, Mexico, by the way. Like all the way down California, all the way down Mexico to the very end, and 200 miles out in the middle of nowhere. The Socorro Islands. We didn't make it there because of a chubasco. The weather was way too bad to go down there. But we did fish off of La Paz and stuff. It was the 7th day, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was the first day of fishing. Hey, what are you doing, Einstein? You know better. We hadn't been fishing 15 minutes, I bet. Oh, well, let's back up a little bit. One of my duties on the boat was, we all had to take a wheel watch or a deck watch. Now, the first 7 days, like I say, was driving. That's all we did during the day and the evening was motor on down. So, of course, you took a wheel watch because you was driving. Once you get in the fishing grounds, unless you're moving somewhere or whatnot, it's called a deck watch. Make sure nobody falls overboard. And you're either put out what they call a sea anchor, or you're on the hook, which is a regular anchor. Now, regular anchor attaches you to the bottom of the ocean, basically. It's a big piece of metal that digs in, and it's chain and rope, and it holds you there. Well, a lot of places is way too deep to carry that type rope and chain. So you use what they call a sea anchor. And a sea anchor is basically a parachute that opens up underwater. You got to be careful when you put them out or you use them, because if they catch air and it goes up, it can really take your boat and screw you up. But you got to make sure it goes in the water and sink, and then it opens up. And the very center has got about a 3-foot circle cut out in it. But it opens up underwater, and it keeps you headed into the waves and slows you way, way, way down with the drift. Now you're going to throw me off with this damn story. Yeah, I lost that one. And if you want me to continue this one, I wouldn't. I wouldn't keep on, because I'll forget this one. Oh, shit, now I remember. Okay, let me finish that one. And then you can have me go back to the fishing story if you want. Now I know what you're talking about. Thank you. But see, I wasn't thinking about it. It was the state fair, the Ohio State Fair. And that's before, no, it was after she joined the carnival. She'd been my first man. Anyhow, she didn't see the carny in there messing with people, but I did. So as we go into the ride, the tickets where they get the band and whatnot, she's all looking around, all happy. And I told old boy, I said, hey, carny ride. And he just gave me a little nod and grin. And if you want a really good ride, and you ask a carny for a carny ride, they'll give you a special ride, whether it's on the tilt-a-whirl, whatever. We aim to please if it's another carny. But anyhow, I guess he took it that I was carny, we stood there and talked for a minute. And I'd asked him for carny rides. He didn't even pay no attention to that. We get in the car as usual. We're going and whatnot. This guy was so damn good. I didn't feel him get on the cart. But somewhere in that ride, before we come out the doors, he was on that cart. And like I say, I didn't feel him get on it or nothing. Like the weight come down or anything. I mean, he was stealth. He leans in just as we come out you come out the doors and you make a quick turn and you come down to the bottom level, you know. Just as we come out them doors, he comes and reaches in between me and her and says, "Want some chocolate, little girl?" Woo! She jumped. I'm surprised she didn't jump out of that cart. She jumped up, turned around, balled her fist up, and at him. It was funny as shit. But that's my ghost story anyway. But it was a good carny ride. He scared the shit out of her, and she surprised the hell out of all those. He stood up. You never heard of a sea anchor? Yeah, Google one, search them. They're just like a parachute made for underwater. And they open up, and you put out a whole bunch of scope, and they drag, you know, because they're open. And it has that hole in the center, so some water can rush through it, but yet it'll slow you down. Instead of drifting 10 miles, you might drift 2. You know, and instead of being in a trough or anything, you'll be pointing into the waves. They're called sea anchor. They're for anchoring in the deep, but you're not at anchor. You're drifting. So that's why they call them sea anchors. You know, I never knew of one until I started working on the tuna boats and stuff, and we used the sea anchor. Like I say, you just got to be careful. You can't just throw it out there and say, okay, because if air catches it and it goes up, you're really, really, really screwed. I've never seen it, but I've heard about it and stuff, you know, and heard the stories. And I can see where it would screw you up a bit. But as long as you deploy it and make sure it goes under the water, they work perfect. So anyhow, my duties was cook's assistant. Help them cook, clean the grill, clean the whatever, prep, whatever. My duties also included wheel watch and or deck watch, depending on whether we're moving or at anchor, whatever, or even drifting. And that's pretty much my duties. Well, because, and after day 3, the cook got locked up in his quarters. He was basically fired and ordered to his quarters. He got the captain and I can't remember 3 or 4 other people. He gave them food poisoning, and we had to pull into some port in Mexico. And this guy come down and gave him a shot with big old horse-like syringes. But yeah, that next day the captain ordered him. The whole trip he had to stay in. He wasn't allowed to come out of his cabin. And me and another deckhand ended up cooking all the meals and doing everything. But everything's cool. You know, we're on our way down. It's the 6th day. We find out about the Chubasco and everything. So they decide that we're not going to go down to the Socorro Islands because of the typhoon and all. And I don't know, we went about another 40 miles or whatever, and we started fishing a day early. Instead of starting on the 8th day, we actually started on the 7th day. But we didn't have all that ways to go to La Paz either. So, needless to say, we hadn't been fishing 20 minutes maybe. And all of a sudden, the rod and reel just goes flying overboard. And the guy just hits the deck. He's done. He's gone. He's out of it. And of course, they rush over to him, a couple of the passengers, whatever, and try to help him. The captain, you know, tries to help They're working on them for 15, 20 minutes. And, well, I'll take that back. They worked on them about 10 minutes out on the deck in the hot heat and all. You know, because we're down there in Mexico, way down Mexico, middle of summer, tuna fishing. And after about working on them about 10 minutes on the deck, we take them and they put them in the galley, and they start working on them for about another 10 more minutes. The captain pronounced them dead. And that was pretty much it. Captain's up in the wheelhouse and stuff. Everybody goes back to fishing. A couple hours later, I'm wondering why the Coast Guard ain't there and when they're going to get this guy out of my galley, because I got to start preparing lunch. So, and out there on the tuna boats, we always prank each other and stuff, you know. Just, that's what you do, kind of little pranks here and there. So I actually thought the captain was pranking me when I went up to ask him, you know, yo, when's Coast Guard going to get here and get this stiff out of my galley? And he's, oh, no. He says, Coast Guard ain't coming. I'm like, what do you mean, you know? Because, hell, we're only 6 days out. We're going to be out there another 50. What do you mean the Coast Guard ain't coming? I mean, I knew we weren't going to go back home. You know, they weren't going to refund everybody's money for that. But I thought for sure the Coast Guard would be coming out, you know. And the captain, no, you know. If the person isn't alive when the Coast Guard gets to that vessel, they've got to face all kinds of fines and all kinds of charges and money and stuff. They come out to rescue the living, not move the dead. Yeah, and it's just a fact. But what it is, especially like Mexico, which I didn't know, as soon as they enter Mexico's space, they got to buy. They got to pay for Mexican to fly through the Mexican air. So evidently, if when they get out there, you know, it's already a dead person, they're A, not going to retrieve them back to shore, and B, they're going to give you a hell of a bill for it. So he reaches underneath the Benmar automatic pilot there and whatnot and takes out this white canvas plastic type whatever thing and said, here, get the deck hands and whichever fish hole they're not using, put them in that fish hole. And I thought, you know, I just like, okay, no problem. Just, you know, figuring it was a joke. Didn't think nothing about it. So I grabbed that, you know, and it did say like U.S. body bag or something on it, you know, had numbers and stuff. And I go down there and I'm like, yo, Joe, whatever, I think it might have been Joe, whatever. Yo, man, the cap said we're supposed to put this guy in this bag and throw him in the fish hole. And he said, okay, I'll get such and such. And he went to get the other deckhand, and man, I couldn't believe it until we was actually putting the guy in the fish hole. But it makes sense. And they're freezer holes, by the way. The Finalista had freezer holes. That's why they could do a 21-day trip. And it had one on the port and one on the starboard. So we was putting all the fish in the starboard hole, if I remember right. So we ended up putting the guy in the port hole. Hey, there's two people on the boat that you do not fuck with. The captain or the cook. One can bring you up on charges and one can have you buried at sea. Visine burger, whatever. You know? Joy burger, Visine burger, whatever. So, everything's kosher. Because this guy was on the boat by himself. He didn't have a fishing buddy, fishing friend, wife, girl, nothing. He's like a few of them. He come there by himself. Oh, there's all kinds of stories about. There's stories about that out there. But yet, them people, they usually get arrested and up on charges and stuff once they get back. You know, usually a captain, you know, once they get threatened or whatnot, they'd be like, oh yeah, oh, hell yeah, we'll take you in. But by the time they get to the dock, the police and stuff are there to, yeah. Anyhow, shall I continue the story? I'm going to forget where I'm at. It's going to take me a minute to figure out where I was at anyway, so let me get one. Hey, Levin, what's up? So like I was saying, there wasn't much conversation about the guy that died on the boat. There was more conversation about, wow, did you see that one, this one, whatever, you know, all the other people. And if I remember right, we were limited to 26 or 28 passengers. The boat slept 80, but I know we had less than 30 passengers. I think they capped the trip at 28 in crew, if I'm not mistaken, but don't hold me to that. Clyde Cherry, I'll never forget him. He was one of the anglers on there. He had a little Radio Shack, had him like a fireman hat, had a little red light on it. You'd turn it on and they'd go, wee doo, wee doo, wee doo, and the light would blink. He was funnier than shit. He'd get a fish. He'd turn that little hat on, wee doo, wee doo, wee doo, coming up, coming down. Anyhow, we put this guy in the fish hole. And like I say, most people didn't even think about it, and I really didn't either. You know, he wasn't the conversation of the day or the evening or whatever, which is good. I'm sure if he had friends or something on there, you know, they probably would have been more. It's not like anybody didn't care, but nobody knew him, and what could you do anyway? All I knew was he was going to be down there in that fish hole until we got into the dock. Good thing it was a freezer, right? Well, anyhow, that night, me being with the cook job, the cook and cook's helpers are the first ones to be, you know, up to get breakfast ready and everything, and that's on damn near every boat. So normally I will get the last wheel or deck watch. Like if I have to be up at 4 a.m. and it's a 1 hour deck watch or whatever, usually it's 2 hour. But if I have to be up at 4 at 2 a.m. is my deck watch or wheel watch, right? Well, being out there that many days, we used 2 different generators. The Fina Lista had 2 big main engines and 2 generators. And one of my jobs on my deck watch or wheel watch was to switch the generator over. Let's say all day today it was running on the port. The starboard had been off all this time. So I'd go over to the starboard and check the oil and water and everything, fire it up, get it warmed up. Then in between the generators on the bulkhead is a big giant plastic switch, and it toggles like this. Well, it has what they call a mandatory pause. You can't just go from here over to here. You go here and it actually bounces back, resets in the center, and then you can go here. And the same way when you go back the other way. But that's how you put the load from one generator to the other, and they don't never get crossed or anything. It's just the design. Well, the thing is, that split second, half second, whatever it is, that you're going from here, mandatory pause, to here, which I'm saying is a good second half, everything goes out. The emergency lights don't even have a chance to come on or nothing. Everything just goes absolutely dead and dark until either you switch the other generator on or the emergency lights and stuff kick on. which take about 30 seconds, I think. Anyhow, I swear, and this is just your mind fucking with you. When I flipped that switch to the generator, the new generator, the one I just fired up, I swear I seen that body bag standing out of the corner of my eye over here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I busted my head, put a nice knot and cut my head getting out of that engine room. They had to literally drag me back down in that engine room and show me that it was the asbestos wrapped around the mufflers. Because this had what they call dry stacks. They go straight up in the air and out. A lot of boats have them that go, exhaust out the back of the boat with the water and all. Well, these are dry stacked. And the big old mufflers and stuff are wrapped with white asbestos and painted, white, whatever. And that's all it was. But man, it scared the shit out of me when I first turned and seen that. Oh yeah. It went from maybe 2 people, 3 including me, awake on that boat, to everybody on that damn boat being awake. Man, it scared the shit out of me. I couldn't get out of there quick enough. What's up, Levin? Oh, yeah. And then, of course, we caught a lot of fish. We got in on the 21st day, and they sent a coroner's van. It was at the dock when we got in, and they came down, and we took the guy out of the fish hole. Well, the deckhands did. The deckhands took the guy out of the fish hole, and they laid him on the gurney, and away the coroner van went. But, yeah. Hell, it's a lot better than the time on the Coral Sea. Yeah. I was working on the Coral Sea for Larry Howe, and they thought it would be funny to tell me to grab the rope on the basket. There's like a trail line for the basket when they lower it. He didn't tell me to make sure the basket hit the deck. And I think they know this, because remember I was saying pranking people? I'm pretty sure I was not told that deliberately. If you've ever watched the movie Red October, and they're lowering that guy down by helicopter, and the guy takes a metal rod, sticks it out, and put her so away from the sub, you see this little lightning spark go static electricity. Yeah, them helicopters with them swirling blades, man, you've had a static shock, I'm sure. Rub your socks on the carpet or something and get that little, imagine that 100,000 times more powerful. They're lifting a guy off that had heart problems, but still alive, on the boat. And as the basket's coming down, Larry tells me that I need to, when I can, to grab the trail line. That they're using that as the basket goes back up, it won't spin and whatnot. And, hey, sounds cool to me. First time I'd been on a boat with the rescue, putting the basket down or anything. So, yeah, cool. Like a dumbass, I go to reach for the basket as it's coming, closer to the deck, and I don't think I got within a foot of it. And just like my eyes look like this paper. When they talk about you see a bright light when you die, all I remember was my eyes looked like 2 spotlights. I seen 2 bright ass lights. And I flew back about 12 feet against the bulkhead of the galley door. And Larry and them are there laughing. You're supposed to let it hit the deck, and then it will discharge through the boat into the water, and nobody gets a fish shocked out of them. So if you ever get in a situation where they're low on one of them baskets, do not reach out to touch it. Oh. I played a few. You want to hear two of my best ones? One was an April Fool's, and the other one was just a prank. Okay. The first one involved a young man that was really cool. And at one point, I was dating his mom. He had a couple of brothers. He ended up being a school teacher and all. Great kid and everything. I mean, he's an adult now and all. But, yeah, I'm really proud of all of them, how they turned out. But anyhow, Eric had always been the serious, hard-working, studying, ended up being teaching all. His two younger brothers, they were a lot younger, and yeah. But anyhow, Eric's thing was, remember the Publishing Clearinghouse? Ed McMahon's Publishing Clearinghouse? Well, ever since I started dating his mom, wherever we lived, whatever, it was known that even though it said resident such and such or whatever, or if it said the Finley family or whatever, he loved. And nobody cares about your stupidity there, number three. Number three, you don't deserve the title, number three. Get out of here. See, you dumbass. So, he loved the Publishing Clearinghouse, and you could take anything out of the mailbox you wanted. He didn't care. He didn't care. But do not mess with the Publishing Clearinghouse. That was for him. You know, I mean, he did. He had a fetish about that Publishing Clearinghouse. Oh, I don't have to forget him. I just block him. They know he's stupid with this one. The only reason he's using it because I didn't block it yesterday. He was being a dumbass with it yesterday too. Shows their intelligence, don't it? Because I didn't block it yesterday, I guess he thought he'd just use it again today. You might have to remind me where I was at between blocking this idiot and listening to that car alarm go off. Where was I? Damn, where was I, Frankie? Oh, okay. Publishing Clearinghouse. I remember. Now, at this particular time of our relationship, I was working for my brother at Stevens Signs. We had a sign shop in Tampa, Florida. And we had all kinds of sign material. and stuff. So the boys thought over the couple of years, leading up to this, that it was funny, April Fools and, being a family, we mess with each other, just whatever. And the boys liked messing with me, and I liked messing with them and whatnot. I mean, everything was done in good nature and fun. So, I did this really out of good nature and fun. No bad intentions, but kind of like I gotcha. I had a friend named Larry that worked for a lawn company, and he lived with them, and they had just bought a white minivan, for their lawn service too. And back then, if you owned a video camera, they looked like, big old giant professional things. Well, anyhow, get a hold of them and ask them if they'd dress up and bring this fake check up to the door. And we put prize patrol, clearinghouse prize patrol on the side of the van and everything, used a couple of balloons and stuff, made the fake plastic check, paid to the order of Eric Finley, la-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. Oh yeah, I pulled that prank. I did that prank. Now, of course, if I didn't have the means of doing it, I couldn't have done it. It'd cost you a few dollars. But oh my God, Eric didn't talk to me for about a month after that. He was so damn mad. Ooh, doggy, he got mad at me about that one. And he knows I didn't mean, hey, it was good, I got you. And the other one involved a boss and April Fool's Day. Me and Jenny, my ex-wife, we were working up in Virginia Beach, doing off-base housing for the Navy or something, I think. And we had 3 apartments. Me and Jenny first started working for them when they were down in Florida and Mississippi. I think Florida is where we first started working for them. Maybe on McGill Air Force Base or something. But anyhow, they paid what they call Bacon Davis wages. They were really good construction company to work for and everything. Well, anyhow, they liked mine and Jenny's work so good that they said we could come to the next job, which was Virginia Beach. And that's when we rode the train up there and hit a truck and stuff. But that's another whole story. Don't get me off on that. Ask me about the train wreck and stuff or whatever. We're there at work. We have 3 different apartments. Me and Jenny had a bedroom. Then there was a cabinet. They were 2 cabinet guys, a black guy and a white guy. And the black guy, his lady was there. She didn't work. She just lived with us. So there was 5 of us in the one apartment there. The second apartment was a single dad and his son, and one other guy that did the baseboard and stuff. He kind of reminded me of Lurch, big, tall, and whatnot. His favorite thing to do was to reach up and get a brand new battery out of the smoke detectors and put it on his 2 little things in his tongue. I mean, right through his tongue like the barbells, and you'd hear that shit sizzle. Yeah, but also he'd drink a bottle of Jägermeister every day after work. Well, anyhow, the single father, the son, and them had an apartment, and the third apartment was the boss and his son. Now, of course, the company rented these apartments when we first got there. I forget, we were there 5 or 6 months, whatever. A couple times you get eviction, this, that, and the other, whatnot, rent paid, blah, blah, blah. And the company would get the check there and everything's fine. Well, we'd been there, I don't know, 3, 4 months, whatever it was, 5 months. Getting close to the end of the job. We only had like a month and a half or so. But that's not the point. The point was, it was April Fool's Day. Well, I in no way, shape, or form intended to prank or do anything, to the boss man. Man, he was one of them short, stocky, little bear guys. I just, pretty cool. I liked him a lot. But Jenny, she couldn't wait. Now, we were already at the job site, and as Cal, that was his name, Cal, as he's walking this way, we're walking towards him because we both got to go that way, him a right and us a left, to go over to where the tools and stuff were. And as we're walking, towards each other, getting ready to make the left, Jenny says, "Hey, Cal, your shoe's untied." Without looking up or anything, got his already on. And he said, "Nice try, ain't nobody can get me," and kept on walking. And I took that as a personal challenge right then and there, because he said, "Nobody can get me." And I've heard sometimes I think my name is nobody. I really do, because a lot of times hey, nobody does this, nobody does that, and I'm like, wow, damn, I guess I'm nobody. So this was one of them times. And it came to me, and just a little thought, hey, Jenny, let's go to Office Max or Office Depot, whatever it was, during lunch and evict ourselves. And I told her what I had in mind, and off we went during lunch, because everybody went their own way during lunch, so nobody suspected a damn thing. Right down the street was wherever, Office whatever, Depot, Max, whatever. Anyhow, they'd blank landlord forms, 3-day and quit, all kinds of the forms that, you just go there and buy them. You pay out the ask for them, but whatever. Anyhow, I find these 3-day pay or quit notices. And Jenny goes over, like where there's self-copier and all that, they have different things you can use. Well, they had typewriters there. And after I bought them, we could go over to the service area, and Jenny filled them all out. And she actually made a mistake on the one to the boss's apartment, in the name, the letter, or something, but it was a mistake. The other two were perfect, but he never caught the mistake. Backing up a little bit. Yeah, where's my... So we get these things filled out, and put them in an envelope, and we go tag one on our door, one on the second apartment's door, and one on the third apartment's door. And these are big apartment units, a couple, whatever, big units. And we were in this big cluster in the front. The second was a big cluster in like the middle. There was another cluster between us. And then there's another cluster or two down there, and the boss's was way down into the left cluster. But it's all the same property, housing, whatever. So we go back to work. Everybody meets back to work, after lunch, and everything's fine and dandy. And we all head to the house after work. Stop for a beer, grocery, whatever, and get back to work. Me and Jenny rode by ourselves. I forget how the black and white guys, they must have had a car together that they traveled in. I know Cal and his son, the boss and his son, rode in their truck, and the single dad and the hippie dude that liked to shock his tongue, they rode in his truck. Nevertheless, we go pulling up, and we're a little later than the cabinet guys and stuff, by a few minutes, whatever. And they had already taken the note off the door and called the boys in the middle apartment and Cal and whatnot. I mean, we weren't very long behind them, but just a minute or two to give them a second so they would find the notes. And we're like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Man, we got to be out of here in 3 days." And we're like, "What?" "Yeah, notice says that we got to be out of here in 3 days, And we're like, "No, man, you're kidding," whatnot. And so we're all, the ones from the middle apartment, Cal's son and the hippie and the single dad, they came over to our place. Well, we'd had a couple calls to Cal before then, and hey, what are we supposed to do? Well, I don't know. I'm trying to call the company. Da da da. Well, this was a weekend, or getting ready to go into like a 3-day weekend of some sort. I forget why, but maybe it was the when it was where it was at or whatever. But they wasn't no way. Oh, they just closed on Saturday and Sunday, and this happened on Friday or whatever. Yeah, they couldn't get a hold of the office until Monday, which was going to be a day late. So finally, he calls us an hour later or whatnot to each. Well, he called the middle apartment, told them, and they called us. And he said, "Now just tell everybody to have their bags ready to move out on Sunday, just in case we got to go over to a motel or something." And they came over, after dinner and whatever, and told us what Cal had said. And that's when I decided to go ahead, me and Jenny decided to go ahead and let them in on it. And we're like, man, you ain't got to pack or nothing. Me and Jenny put those notices on the door. And they're like, what, And we're like, yeah, during lunch, I told them about the shoe string, the untied shoe and all. And I told them that during lunch, we went and got these, and we pinned them on the door. And they're like, yeah, right on, that's cool, whatever. So we're sitting there, get stoned, whatever. It was pretty cool. Let Cal stew a little bit longer. And then we all decided, hey, let's go see Cal. So we all walk over. And it's every one of us except the black guy's wife. She didn't come with us. But all the workers go walking over and, ring Cal's door. And of course his son just opens the doors, we go in, but he knocked on it first, whatever. And we all come in and we're talking with him, and he's like, I'm sure that the company's going to come through, but just make sure that, that you're ready to go on Sunday in case we have to go into the motel and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, Cal, I evicted you today. And he's, what? And I told him, and he bowed to me. He just bowed to me, and that was pretty cool. So those are my two best practical jokes. I think they both were fucking hilarious myself. But oh, sorry, Michelle. I was, he wanted to hear my two best prank stories or something like that. Oh, hey, you don't think the phony Ed McMahon check? You should have been there. I mean, they were dressed up. Would come out with a big old camera, balloons, and a prize check. Man, that kid's dreams went from this to boop. Yeah. Now that I look at it, I guess it was pretty cruel. But man, not him, but his brothers did some pretty cool shit to me. But Eric had to mess with me first. Because I'm one of them people, I get people back. Hell, maybe I'll get to see one, two, or three of them if they're still down there in Florida. I'm going to have to look that up. I'd love to see them. I know their mom passed a few years back. But heck, I was with her 7 years. And now her boys, the two rowdy ones or whatnot, they got kids of their own now, and now they understand. Heck, I remember the time I accidentally stopped the bank robber, and the one kid had a 9mm put to his head by a cop I mean, just inches from his head, you know. And I'm like, no, not him, over there. I didn't ask him, but I'm pretty sure he probably had to check for a brown spot in his drawers. Yeah. Shit. Them boys did better drugs than me. They were young. And they did better drugs than me. They had one kid named Sidney. And what do you think Sid sold? Acid. So if you needed acid, just see Sid. But back then, the acid was pretty clean and cool and stuff. It really was. Nowadays, I wouldn't trust anything. And me, I'd rather try his naturals. The mushroom, the peyote, the DMT root, whatever. I'd rather try that than man-made bullshit. Yeah, you didn't know that? I thought I told that story before. Don't you hear me say that the FBI freaking owed me one? And try and call in favors, you know? Yeah. The headlines in the paper, if I remember right, was he couldn't get a cab when he needed one, or something to that effect about the cab. Yeah, it's about a guy that took a taxi cab. This happened in Tampa, Florida, at 22nd and Fowler. There's a bank. I'd be lying if I said, I don't know if it's Barnett what. I don't think it's Barnett, but there's a bank there at 22nd and Fowler. And, yeah, he took a cab up there to rob it. Takes a genius to do that, don't it? Heck, it says I got one whole person here. I'll save that story for when we got listeners. They got bored of my other stories. Oh, it could have turned out a total different way if the guy had, been honest and all kinds of stuff and whatever. I don't know. I'm sure it would have ended the same way it did. I like to kid people and say, damn, if he'd told me just rob a bank, he'd split it with me. I'd put him in the trunk and drive him out. But, nah, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. Because I would have if I, but nah. But in all fairness, I didn't know what this guy had done. Earlier, I'd heard a helicopter going around a bit and whatnot, but I didn't really pay attention to that at the time. because there's always helicopters going around Tampa, Florida. And if it hadn't have been the fact that it was where me and the lady I was just telling you about and her 3 sons and my daughter, we were all living together at the time. Do what? Right then you got what? I got charged, same as him. What are you talking about? Damn, now you made me forget completely what I was talking about, trying to figure out what you're talking about. Of course, I never said I wasn't stoned this evening at all. Quite the contrary. Oh, now I know about the story. I'll tell you sometime because you don't remember it. Yeah, that would be a bitch. Oh yeah, I would have got charged same as him, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have told him. So you want me to tell you the story? Who wants me to tell you the story? When I accidentally stopped a bank robber for the FBI. Of course it's for the FBI because they're the ones that do bank crimes. And they're the ones that say, oh man, we owe you. And just like a cop, when I drove tow truck, all the time, they'd ask me favors and stuff, and then say, man, I owe you one. Shit, try and collect one of them I owe yous. Or shall we save the story for like tomorrow? It is 1:17. What say you? Oh, no, it ain't up to me. Anybody else want to hear the bank story? I don't know who's here. Ray, anybody else want to hear the bank story? If not, we can wait and do it tomorrow. Or is there any other questions, comments, or concerns before I go? I think we got our answer, Will. We'll give it a second here. If you like, whoever, remind me tomorrow, and I'll tell you the bank robber, and there was another one. Oh, the train wreck and stuff as we went to Virginia Beach. The story of how we rode the train and all. You do what? You want me to tell you? Is that what you're saying? Hang on. I'm wondering who was yelling. It's a big old family coming out of pizza. Be nice if Pop would come over here. I'd give them all a handful of Jesus. Seem like what happens all the time, Ray? I'm sorry. Seems like what happened all the time. Hmm. Well, I guess we'll go into the story about the great bank robbery in Tampa, Florida. So, at this particular time, we were living I don't remember the address, but we had a fenced-in backyard, and it was a house I was buying. Because other than that, we lived in apartments. Anyhow, we had because I was cutting out letters for the barbecue place. That's right. I was working for my brother, plus I was doing sign work on this side, and I signed and bought a house. Basically, 1,000 down, and signed the paperwork. Whatever. Couple months after being there, I had just secured a job a couple of streets up on like Fletcher Avenue for a barbecue place, and it was a big drive-through barbecue type thing. And man, they had some of the best barbecue that you'd ate, or at that time. And they hired me to put a big barbecue, BBQ, in the name, which wasn't very big, but it was made with styrofoam letters. And you buy a big old block of the styrofoam, and heat a wire and cut out the letters, or like I did, use a razor. And I'm in the backyard making this barbecue sign, and the boys' mom's at work, and so in the house is my daughter. She's in her room playing. Jason and one of his friends was in his bedroom playing, or maybe it was both. Oh yeah, both brothers and one of their friends was in the bedroom playing, no, because he was out there helping, watching me cut the letters out. Never mind. Daughter was playing in her room. Jason was with, I think, Sydney, one of the guys, in his bedroom, and his brother was out there watching me cut the letters out. Jeffrey, cutting the letters out and whatnot, interested in what I was doing. And we had a like 5-foot fence around the backyard, or maybe not 4-foot fence, whatever, around the whole backyard of the house. And we was out the back, and I didn't see nobody come up the sides or anything. I'm there cutting like this, looking out in the ground, whatever, and I could see Jeff's feet here and whatnot. All of a sudden, I see legs and shoes standing there. Hey man, can you call me a cab? And I look up, wondering where'd you come from? And then he's got little scratches and shit all over his face, across the nose, and little bleeding and whatnot. looked like some little old lady had just scratched the shit out of him. I thought maybe he grabbed a Social Security check from, one of the little old ladies or something. That's what I was thinking. And he's like, man, call me a cab, call me a cab. And he hands me $100 bill. Oh, well, sorry, they wanted to hear it now. So anyhow, they damn, it's stoned and thrown off there. He says, I'll give you $100. What, Well, hell, now I got some guy. I don't know if he's got gun, not whatever, and I said, yeah, come on in the house. I'll call you a cab. He sits down at the kitchen table, and I dial. No, I'm not. Hang on. Yeah, I seen all of Will's messages. And then after Will was yours, it says, seemed like it happens all the time. And I asked you what that was in reference to, and you didn't answer me back. Then you said, tomorrow sounds good. Didn't know what that was about. Unless you meant talking about this video. But heck, Will had said sure and up to you and I do before that. So, I don't know. Maybe I am, I don't know. Maybe it's late printing the messages up there. I don't know. So, anyhow, I dialed 911 instead of the cab. I want to get this guy out of the house, And the helicopter had been flying. Like I say, I thought he probably robbed a little old lady for a Social Security check. What the hell's he doing in my backyard, whatever. So I'm like, hello, yellow cab? And they're like, sir, I'm like, yeah, I need a cab. And then they, sir, blah, blah, blah. And I'm, yeah. Played off, yeah, cab's up. Okay, thank you. And that's when they, started the FBI and the cops towards the house, I reckon. It's only a quarter mile away, the bank where that was robbed. And a minute or two goes by, and he slaps another $100 bill on the table and says, call some other cab, call another cab, call a different cab. And I'm like, okay, no problem, And I act like I dialed the number, and I'm like, United Cab, because first is like yellow cab. Like, United Cab, hey, I need a pickup, blah, blah, blah. Whoever gets here first, you get the fare. And about that time, because he's sitting at the kitchen table, he looks out the window and says, oh shit, the cops are here. And sure enough, cops started arriving in. And I'm like, oh shit, I better go to the door. And Jeff stayed outside. He don't know what's going on. Jason and his friend are in the bedroom. They don't know what's going on. So it's just me and this guy in the kitchen and whatnot. And that was my way to get him away, and whatever. And so I go over to the living room door to open the door for the cop. And as I open the door, the cop, he's over in the kitchen. And you go through the living room, there's a hallway that comes up into the bedrooms, and then there's the kitchen. Well, just as the cop comes in and goes to the left, Jason is coming up the hallway and steps out of the hallway. That's her middle-aged son. And that cop puts that 9mm right up to his temple, and I'm like, no, over there. And here this guy is spread eagle on the wall already, just facing the wall, waiting for the cop to come to him. And come to find out, he had caught a taxi cab and went up to the bank there at the 22nd Fowler or Fletcher Yeah, 22nd and Fletcher. And we lived on Fowler, close to Fowler, or in between them. Anyhow, um, he robbed this bank. He caught a cab. He literally caught a taxi up there. Went into the bank and robbed it. Got all the money and stuffed it in a shirt, I guess. He comes running out to jump in the cab. And Teller or something's running behind him. He robbed the bank. He robbed the bank. The taxi driver takes his keys and jumps out of the cab. Just hauls ass. Grabs the keys and said, "Buck that, I'm out of here." So I guess when he didn't see the keys in the cab or whatever, or seen them in his hand, whatever, he's out and running. And according to the cops, he had stopped at 2 other people's places, asking them to make a call, and they just, wouldn't make a call or nothing. They just shined them on or whatever. Had he not been in my backyard, I'd probably shined him on too, but he was already in my backyard and I had the kids and everything, so I had no idea. And how he got all those scratches and stuff, he crawled through a culvert. And this culvert, always has a few inches of water in it and stuff, and it's got the bushes growing at the end. I couldn't imagine crawling through that culvert and stuff to get into the little retention area and then climbing the fence out of there. That's when he got in our neighborhood, stopped at other couple people's houses and whatnot. They wouldn't do nothing, or didn't do nothing. And then that's when I ended up calling a cab for him, and they showed up. And of course they're like, "Hey, we owe you one," la da da. The bank gave us, I think, they gave me a little plaque, and then I think they gave us $100 to have dinner on or whatever. Pretty sure it was $100, but yeah, a plaque, and so that was pretty cool. And they got their money back. So, and I didn't have to go to court or nothing. They wanted me to go to court, if the guy, I guess, took it to trial or whatever. But the guy told him, "Hey, man, I done it. I'm caught." Boom. And he pled guilty. So, hell, I didn't even have to go to court over it or nothing. But did I not stop a bank robber? But that's why I made the joke, hell, if he told me he robbed the bank, and put him in the trunk and got him out of there. And that's why I made the joke about that, because I honestly never even thought bank robber. I thought he had stolen some little lady's check or something, because all the little scratches on his arms and his face, like he had fought, with a cat or some little lady. Oh, well, like the first time, I'm like, "Hey, yellow cab, I need a cab." They're like, "Sir, you're dialing 911." I'm like, "Yes, I need a cab here at such. How soon can you get one here?" And she's like, "Sir, are you in distress or whatever?" she said, And I'm like, yeah, get me one here as quick as you can. You got the address, thank you, type deal. And I don't think it's hard to judge the time when something like that happens. They say time feels like it goes slow or whatnot. To me, it was like about 2-3 minutes went by. Maybe it wasn't that long. He said, "Call another one," and took and reached in his shirt. See, I didn't see where he got that first 100 or nothing. I knew where the money was when he grabbed the $100 bill out of his shirt. A couple others came out too. Yeah. So when he grabbed that and said, "Here, call another one," and slammed that on the table, I called 911 back, but acted like I used a different name. hello, United Cab. And they're like, sir, we have cops on the way, blah, 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 you know. Yeah, you know, okay, well, hey, I called Yellow Cab, and I need a cab at such and such, and he says whoever gets here first is the one that he's going to take. So I just thought I'd let you know so you can see if you can get here quicker than the other company. Thank you, you know, type deal. And about that time is when the first cop drove up. And he's like, oh shit, the cops. Well, I figured he'd go out towards the back. You know, thankfully he didn't, or, you know, he'd probably just go out there and run. Thankfully he didn't have a gun or a knife or nothing. But Jeff being in the backyard, he was safe. Had Jason not come out of the bedroom, he wouldn't have shit his drawers. But it all worked out pretty good. I would have never guessed that the guy had robbed the bank, though. Yeah. Yo, money. Hey, thanks for the money. Yeah, I'll call you a cab. Wait out there, you know. But I don't know. It just come to me the best way to handle that situation is, hey, all they want is me to call them a cab. Yeah, come on in. I'll call you a cab. Like I say, I thought he'd robbed some little old lady because it was right at the first or whatever. Between the first and the third or something. And I figured, hey, he jumped my fence, private property, this, that, and the other. If he's not wanted for something or whatnot, he won't mind talking to the cops before we call him a cab. Come find out he robbed the damn bank. They've been searching for him for a good 45 minutes, I guess. Probably good 45 minutes or more. They were searching for him and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, to be out there cutting out styrofoam letters when somebody robbed a bank and they show up in your backyard. What's the chances of that, Will? About the same chance of meeting Officer Roach and Sergeant Hash. I've had some weird shit happen to me, haven't I? You gotta admit. Hell, just a couple of stories tonight. The bank robber and throwing a dead guy in the freezer. Not your average stories, you know what I mean? Well, my friends, any last questions, comments, or concerns? Before I go, I want to, damn it, Jim. I want to get the dogs fed and stuff. Oh, life's a real trip. A real trip, my friend, a real trip. It really is. And shit, I got 100 other stories, easily, or 1,000 other stories. A lot of them I don't think about until somebody mentions something that might unlock a memory about something, about whatever. Just like the train wreck. I hadn't thought about the train wreck, but the only time I ever rode on a train, other than a child, we hit a semi. There's a lot of wild stories I've had. Anyhow, not a whole lot. Been a while since I've seen you on here. Sorry, I'm getting ready to say goodnight. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. I do one at noon and one at 7, but I need to go feed my dogs, feed myself, get a couple things done. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of y'all out there. Please make sure you sign the petition at 420jim.com. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button. Hey, you too, Mr. Todd, you too. Like I say, I'll be back at noon, and I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. I hope you join in sometime. Yeah. Anyhow, I'll be here in Joplin tomorrow, one last day probably. Wednesday, I'd like to be in Springfield, or headed to Springfield Wednesday. And, yeah, that's about it. Well, my friends, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise until tomorrow, noon, and at 7. I'll try and be back to talk to you. Remember, it's all about peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream, united we stand, and if we try, we can all get along. My dogs love you, I love you, and Jesus loves you. Have a wonderful evening. Catch you tomorrow.